All right, guys, let's talk about linear regression. So this is going to be the first model that we are going to do a deep dive into, where you are going to collect your own data and make some discoveries. So a linear regression, simply put, is trying to find a relationship between two or more variables. You have one independent variable and one dependent variable. An easy example to think of is, imagine we are trying to determine how well a student is going to do on a test based on the amount of hours they spent studying. So the independent variable would be the amount of hours they spent studying. The dependent variable would be their score on their exam. So essentially our training data would be a table of scores and hours spent studying. So I've already created a couple data tables with this information. So what I'm going to do is go over an example of performing a linear regression, and then you are going to take these concepts and you're going to apply it to your own project, where you're going to try and find some interesting correlation between two pieces of data and see if you can find a trend in that data. So I'm going to bring in a file. First thing I'm going to bring in is my training data. And so I have student ID, study hours, and test score. Whoops. These all need to be numeric. For linear regression, we do not need categorical information. Like logistical regression, we'll do another project that has an example of logistical regression. So we're going to go ahead and hit apply here. And this is going to go into a data table just so we can see it. So we have student ID, study hours, test score right there. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is this file is going to go into a select columns because we want to pick our target data. And for us, that's going to be the test scores. That's what we want to determine based on study hours by students. And now this select columns will go into a linear regression, and that linear regression will go into predictions. Linear regression we're going to leave in all defaults, so we don't have to worry about changing any settings there. So now over here, we bring in another file, and this is going to be my student study test data. So this is a, wait, let me make sure I fix this. Yeah, good, that's text too. So this is a data table that contains a set of students and the amount of time that they've spent studying, and we do not know their test scores. So we are hoping that our linear regression is going to be able to tell us this information. So I'm just going to take this file right into the predictions node. We can open this up and take a look. So here we can see that with a linear regression, we can take a stab at what score the students are going to get based on the time they spent studying. So student 1 spent 4 hours. We can make the assumption based on our training data that they're going to get a 65.4. Student 2 spent 7 hours. Based on our training data, we think they're going to get an 85, etc., etc. So the more data that you have, the more refined that this can be. So what I want you to do is to do some research online. This doesn't have to be anything extensive, but think of two pieces of data that you think have an interesting relationship with each other and perform a linear regression to see what kind of predictions you can make based on the data, the test data that you use.